So, good morning, you guys. I have been actually doing so well. I had done this whole series on um, tapping into the juice of the quote unquote drama, or being in the love of God, like feeling in a loving space or being in an anxious space for a while. I did, and this addiction to the the quote unquote drama, and our brains being addicted whether we know it or not. But anyway, so I have been doing like really, actually pretty well, and staying generally like pretty happy, and trudging along, at a good pace. And I had shared with you guys in a couple of videos that I joined Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, which was super fun. I'm really enjoying that. And yesterday I get up, I'm in a great space. I had meditated like normal and everything, and I'm doing my visits. I'm sitting waiting to go to the next visit, and I make this phone call because I had changed my insurance. So I had to send them a check that had come from my old insurance. So I call up my mortgage company, and in I think August I had put some bills on my app, on my banking app. And I was so proud of myself. I was like, I'm going to pay these bills with my banking app. So I'm like all excited. I'm just like getting organized, and which has been a challenge for me actually in my new headspace. In my new headspace, just keeping on task, keeping has been a challenge. And so I'm it's coming along, and I'm getting stuff done, and I'm so excited. Anyway, so yesterday I had called, to figure out how to do this payment for my insurance, that I received a check and I was going to send it off to the insurance, to the mortgage company. And they informed me that my mortgage did not get paid last month. It didn't get paid in September. And she starts to, like, she says, well, this is collections. This is collections. And I don't know how to describe it, y'all, but my body just completely took over. I was not in control at all. And I just immediately like started to cry. I was really fearful. I I I just went to this very, very negative space. Um and the other thing was, I was at the place that I'm working and not in the town I live in, and so I wasn't entirely sure how I was gonna fix this. And it was a weekend, so it was Friday when this went down. So um, I end up calling my bank and telling them about the banking app, and I'm crying on the phone. And it's so interesting because I wasn't angry. I knew that there was some kind of glitch. I knew there was a glitch. I wasn't angry. I was just fearful about basically losing my house. Where are we gonna live? Anyway, and there was a part of me that knew it was gonna work out. Cause see, here's the thing: everything always works out. Like if you think about it, it always does. It always works out. It just works out. Everything always has this way of working out. And so I knew, okay, I don't really know how this is gonna work out, but I know it's gonna work out. But my brain just would not let go. My brain was just, it must have been getting like all these chemicals, because it just was latched on, and it just would not let up. So I ended up going into the bank in the place I work. So I go into the bank, and this lady very graciously, oh, do you need some help? Yeah. something happened with my banking app and blah blah blah, you know. And so we're going through, and I had written in the one wrong number. I wrote in one wrong number for my account at my mortgage company. And so basically, the money went to the wrong account. So I end up calling the mortgage people, and the mortgage people are just completely perplexed. They're just like, okay, well, can you hold for a minute? Because they see it, because I gave them the number that I sent it to. So they see the payment, they see when it, and they're just going, okay, now what do we do? So he comes back and he tells me that the money had gone to an actual closed mortgage and that they had sent them an overpayment check. They had sent this money on to the people who had the mortgage. So that must have been a great thing. Open up a check, for, a little bit of money. Anyway, so he says he'll get back to me. He doesn't know how they're going to fix it, but in the next few days he'll get back to me. And when do I plan to pay my next mortgage payment? He makes sure that got me locked out on that one before we get off the phone. So anyway, then I'm in the car and I have this fantastic conversation with this woman from the insurance company, and we're like blah 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 blah, talking. I get off the phone with her, and then I am still like crying. I'm still completely taken over by emotion of just the wonderment about how it really always does work out. And I know that I handled this situation a lot differently than I may have in the past. I wasn't angry. I wasn't accusatory. I was pretty calm. But my brain just would not, it was, and if you think about it, it was like really functioning properly because, it perceived a threat and there was a threat. It overdid, to a certain extent, but it was an improvement to what it could have been. And then what I think is so interesting is that I had paid two other bills, and so I checked on one and it got paid. But then there was a third one that I didn't know about. And so my son, in the middle of all this, my son texts me and says, "Mom, I put this bill or this information from this bill on your desk." And I was like, "What?" And so it related to the other bills that were on this app. And so it was so weird how it was like I like pulled in all of these components at the same time. And I came home and I looked at the information, and it was just letting me know that they had made changes to the way they sent out their billing and stuff. And it was like really no big deal. But it was such a super, super, super interesting day. And I guess I'm sharing this. I'm sharing this because it's going to happen. These things are going to happen. They're going to happen. Like I don't know that life ever is like this, just straight and narrow. It is like we climb and we can maybe stay in this space, and then it's windy and there are storms, and it's just not straight. It's not a straight path. And I'm learning, and I'm learning, and I'm learning. And I just feel like yesterday was such an improvement. And I can so identify where my headspace is. I can, if I'm in a headspace of trust, or if I'm in a headspace of fear, I can so feel it. But the other thing is making sure that sometimes I take baby steps, because yesterday I wasn't going to be able to go from this horrible feeling of anxiety to fear to, like, ecstatic love in like 1 second. So it took me a while to recoup, but I ended up crying quite a bit. I'm in my car to my last visit. Tears of joy instead of tears of sadness. Anyway, so I'm gonna let you guys go. I just wanted to share that. All right, love you.